Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Coach Rob, you used to play with Head, right?
Yes, Head. I think my first Head was the red Head.
Oh, wow.
The metal one.
That's right.
That was the first one. And then I think I graduated to the graphite edge. I like that one. I think we even did a video back on that, on when you got one of the old graphite edges.
We did.
Hit with that. That was fun. And then I sort of switched away from the Head edge.
Yamaha.
I think I went Yamaha and then went to Wilson.
Okay. So what if I asked you, can we take any of those rackets and bring it to modern day and find something like that in the modern day?
If you're looking at Head, you probably have to just try their different ones and see what feel you're looking for or what power you're trying to gauge and find, whichever old one you liked, see if you can find something in their line that is, obviously if we're talking that far back, we were looking at 20, 30 years.
So
more.
Our question today comes from Fabio in Switzerland, and it's an interesting question. Hard to answer though. Stay tuned. Hey guys, do you need help organizing your tennis life? Well, think Go! We got the Axiom line here, the 9-pack duffel, my favorite bag, the 9-pack Axiom 2.0. They even make a 12-pack if you're going on tour. And my favorite backpack of all time. I love that bag. So if you want to organize your tennis life, think Go. All right, so question and coffee sponsor of today comes from Switzerland, from Fabio. Fabio writes, "Good morning. Enjoy the coffee. I need your help. I got a Head Radical MP 2023 version, and I really like it. By the way, I'm an advanced player, not beginner." Angel emoji and big smile. So I'm going to say you're an advanced beginner or a beginner advanced. Gotcha. Just for fun, I put a new string on my 25-year-old Head Atlantis, repeat, Head Atlantis racket at 66 pounds. And as I hope
it's not a poly you put in there.
Yeah, hopefully it's sin cut. And as I played with it, I loved it. The feel is great. I really feel even better to play with it than my Radical MP. How come? I'm really impressed by my Atlantis. Do you know any other rackets with similar playability as my old racket? Have a great day and greetings from Switzerland, and keep going with your YouTube videos. I really love them. Fabio. Well, thank you, Fabio, and thank you for the brew. Let me think about this. Coach Rob, we're turning back time about 30 years here. So
I had hair then.
Me too, actually. Remembering the Atlantis, it was kind of not thin, but not overly thick in the throat. It started getting thicker into about here. It got thicker even into here, and at where the head guard is would thicken up a lot. So it was a tapered beam that was super thick and then tapered thinner here, but we were thick at the top. What that did was it gave it a nice little flex up the racket as you struck the ball. And when you struck the ball, the top, because it was so thick, it firmed up the racket and shot it out of there with a nice little flex in the grip all the way up to the mid-level of the racket. Do you remember that?
I remember the Genesis, and I remember the shape of that, which sounds exactly very similar to what we're talking about in Atlantis. I can't picture the Atlantis, but I'm sure it's probably in that same family from what it sounds like. The Genesis, I remember having a lot of power. I had some friends that hit pretty big with that.
Right.
Back in the day.
So it was Discovery at the top, which was the thickest and most powerful. Then came the Genesis, and then the Atlantis was one below that.
Okay.
So the Atlantis, from my recollection, was kind of a purplish blue on the darker side of the spectrum of those colors.
And the Genesis was kind of blackish green?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And the Discovery was kind of brown.
Brownish,
goldish.
Goldish.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
You're bringing back a lot of memories for us too, Fabio, and we appreciate that. Now, Fabio uses the current Radical in the MP version. You can't really compare the two rackets. You got a 98. My guess is your Atlantis is the 660 version, which is a 102. And a little bit more power with that unique flex because of the beam. Fast forwarding the modern day now, I mean, what would you think would be similar at a 102, knowing that it's thick on the top and tapers down?
Right. That's a hard one to duplicate. I mean, he could maybe try dropping tension in what he has.
Mm-hmm.
See if he's liking the power aspect of the Atlantis, he could try dropping his tension. Not sure what he's stringing his current racket at, but you could try that, or a softer string maybe. If he's using a poly,
Mm-hmm.
he could try something more forgiving.
Maybe he should up the tension since he's going 66.
He could, but back in the day, that was almost like normal.
You had to
in
do
those
it
rackets,
with those,
right?
yeah.
Like, wasn't the range almost 55 to 65
70,
or
55 to
70 in there?
Yeah.
So that's not unheard of for that racket, but
Right.
for these rackets, you're looking to maybe drop. I don't know.
Yeah.
66 is going to be.
Yeah.
But if he likes that, if he feels like he likes the control.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe you could up the tension a little bit, but
right. But no, back to your point though. That was then. This is
Right.
now. I mean, it's different technologies, different. Beam width is what I keep emphasizing. If we're sticking with the head line of rackets, my suggestion would be try the Extreme MP and see how that goes. At least that one is 100 square inch head and gives you a little bit more power versus the 98 of the Radical.
But if he likes boom, if he wants some boom out of his Atlantis, maybe he should try the boom.
Yeah, no, boom is right there too. I just prefer the Extreme a little bit more.
And I'm just kind of guessing on the boom. I don't know the headline as well, but
yeah, I like the colors of the Extreme, and then I actually like the feel of it.
We don't choose a racket on color, Harry. God.
I don't know. Boom is like a girl color to me. I can't do that.
But we're going with feel.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, Fabio, I like Extreme, but again, my reasons might be different than Coach Rob's. But try it for yourself, though. I still say Extreme. If you really want to turn back the clock, one of my suggestions would be to try the latest Vocal, the V1MP. That racket is 20 plus years old. They've changed the names a couple times with the new technologies, but it's similar to an Atlantis. So look at Vocal. And it's called V1MP. There might be a name in front of it. I don't know what they're calling it now. But try that out if it's available where you are. I would say that's as close as you're probably going to get with what you want. Yeah, especially with the weight and the balance of it all and the flex. That's the one thing that comes into my mind. The other way is, I don't know if you have secondary markets in Switzerland or thrift stores or secondhand stores or a tennis shop that still kind of does buy, sell, and trade. They may have Atlantises there that are, on the probably cheaper end now. I'd say probably $10 is what you can get them for. So if you really want to turn back the clock and use them, you still can. But yeah, I think the ones we've mentioned are probably as close as you're going to get to a modern day Atlantis.
In the headline that we were talking about, or the local.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know somebody else that still uses a Genesis, actually.
Really?
Yeah, she literally bought 30 of them when they were closing them out.
Wow.
And said, "This is my racket for life."
Wow.
Do you remember Peanut Louie?
Yeah, she uses that?
She still uses it.
Okay.
Genesis 660.
Shout out Peanut Louie Harper.
In a 5/8.
All right, 5/8. Let's go.
So, Coach Rob, thank you for helping me answer Fabio's question. You can boom it out. I'm just messing with it. Guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.